Hello, happy Monday, friends, colleagues, family. I'm Sheila Pearl, the love doctor of the Hudson Valley, with tips for you on making love better. Now, you might think that's a play on words, and it is, because you can think about making love in many different ways, and that's entirely up to you. As the love doctor, in the relationship work that I do all day, every day, nights, weekends, I was actually on with a couple at 3 o'clock this morning. I'm dedicated to assisting people, couples, individuals, families in creating more loving connections between and among themselves so that you can really be in love in your life, truly. So the last few days I've been talking about the simple tips which give you back your power, which shift your energy, which give you a moment to rethink or to even think for the first time if you're on the verge of reacting, and give you a chance to respond to a situation that might be challenging for you. So the first day was the tip of the power of the pause. And that's always a good idea, no matter what situation you're in, to just take a moment and pause before you say something, before you react. And the second tip was the power of the smile, to recognize the power that we always have at any time to simply take that pause, lift our energy with that smile, and see what happens with your energy when you just smile now, because you can. And you notice everything in your face, everything in your body literally lifts. Then the third tip was the power of taking deep breaths. Because when you take that deep breath and you continue to engage in deep breathing, you're giving back the oxygen that often you're losing from your brain that you need, losing from your mind, body, spirit connection with yourself that you are losing when you're upset, when you're in a state of flight or flight, and fight or flight. So the oxygen that you give back to your brain, that you give back to your body, the rebalancing of your energy that you can give yourself with that deep breathing is invaluable. And again, pausing, smiling, breathing, these are free. They don't cost anything. You can just take a moment and give yourself that gift. And yesterday I talked about the power of feedback, to be willing to give and receive feedback, to see every conflict that you have in your life, in your relationships with people that matter to you, to see that conflict as a gift, and to, even if it's not intended to be given to you as a feedback, perhaps you're on the receiving end of slings and arrows and attacks and criticisms, choose to receive it as feedback, so that you can respond to the situation, and choose to, as upset as you might be, as hurt as you might be, to choose to give feedback rather than a shot and a hit below the belt, and just that was a low blow, and to step aside from your need to be right, and step aside from your need to hit back, and choose to give feedback. So today I'm kind of circling around and extending the idea of pausing, smiling, deep breathing, and feedback with the power of laughter. To laugh, and to choose to laugh when you least expect it. Like the story I told you when I was complaining to my husband about the lids that he left off of the ketchup, the mustard, and the mayonnaise. And as I'm in the midst of complaining about it, I saw the humor in my complaint, and I laughed at myself. Now, when I say laugh, I don't mean laugh at someone. I don't mean laugh at someone at the expense of them. But you can laugh at the situation, and you certainly can laugh at yourself. So when you smile, do it now. You notice the energy lifting. So when you laugh, I didn't just tell myself a joke. I just decided to laugh. And when we laugh, notice what happens to our body's energy. It loosens up. And very often when we're in a state of fight or flight, when we're in a state of tension, when we're in a state of stress, when we're in a state of anger or resentment or sadness, our bodies seize up, our bodies freeze, our energies lock up. We are in what I call a stuck state of energy. And so choosing to laugh, even if you don't have a reason, tickle somebody. I mean, watch something that's funny that inspires you to laugh. But when you do laugh, hi Matthew, good to see you. When you choose to laugh, you are choosing to allow your energy to loosen up. And again, it doesn't cost anything. You don't have to go to a therapist, you don't have to go to a coach, and you don't have to go even to an energy healer. All of those are wonderful modalities, and bring it on. Come see me for other things, but you don't have to come see me to remind you of the power and the efficacy, the benefit and the value of laughter. I went to a conference many years ago when I was beginning my spiritual journey, and I went to Neil Donald Walsh's first international humanities team meeting in Portland, Oregon, a little outside of Portland, Oregon. And one of his friends and colleagues, Ilchi Lee, who had just written a book called Brain Respiration, Ilchi Lee walked out on the stage. There were about 1,500 of us in the auditorium. And Ilchi Lee was probably 4'5", and a short little guy, spoke very broken English. And he walked out on the stage, and he didn't say a word. He just started to laugh. Just started to laugh. So he kind of like this, ha ha ha. Okay, and he continued that, and little by little, those of us in the audience began to laugh, because laughter is contagious. Within probably less than a minute, we were all hysterically laughing, tears running down our faces, and having a grand old time laughing about absolutely nothing except the laughter itself. And then he began to talk to us about the value of inspiring our brains or respirating our brains with things like laughter. Because as you notice when you're laughing, and it's really a big belly laugh, something's going on with your body, and you have to take deep breaths, and you're sometimes doubled over, and the tears come rolling down your face. Well, just like smiling, laughter is much easier to do than crying. Smiling is much easier to accomplish than frowning. It takes more effort to frown and to cry, or to give that message that you're angry or sad, and you put on the frowny face or the bitter face or the sour face. But when you smile and when you laugh, everything in your body wakes up. Everything in your body lifts. Everything in your body is now loosened up. I was on the phone early this morning at 3 a.m. with a couple that had reached out to me through one of these online counseling apps that I'm on, and the wife had reached out. She says, "We're desperate. When can we talk?" Well, I happen to have been up. I'm not often up quite that early in the morning or late at night, but I was. And I see everything as synchronicity anyway, so it was meant to be. Long story short, the couple was in deep distress, and they live a great distance away, so we're going to be doing our work online on Zoom. But so last night we just had a phone conference call. And in the midst of the call, I was asking them various questions, and I guess whatever I was asking, whatever I was saying, caused us all to laugh. Case in point, the husband, well, they both had told me that they were desperate to find someone, but they hadn't found anyone over the weekend. So they had actually sat down and started to make a list of all of the problems that they thought they had, and the fact that they both thought that maybe divorce was the best way to go. And yet on the list they wrote that they are each other's best friend. And yet on the list, the husband wrote that they just, when they have sex, which the last time was four days ago, it was great sex. And he also wrote something on the list that was very hurtful to his wife, which caused her to feel like there's no hope. No matter what I do, no matter who I am, I can't satisfy my husband. I can't be what he needs. And they had dipped into that mindset of despair. So I just noticed out loud when they were reading to me the various things on their list, the confusion that the list caused me in reading it, because there were a lot of paradoxes in their list and in the conversation. So on the one hand, I said, so you're telling me that you want a divorce, and yet you're each other's best friends. You're telling me that on the one hand, you're not attracted to your wife because you're not attracted to heavy-set women. Yet you're telling me that 4 days ago when you had sex, it was great, and when you do have sex, it's great. So which is it? So I was asking questions like that, and they started to laugh. Well, we only had about a 30-minute consultation early this morning, at the end of which they decided they wanted to sign on for my coaching series, and we're going to begin later this week, and so it goes. But in the midst of the conversation, they both said to me, after this 30 minutes of conversation, we're feeling much better. I think we're going to sleep well tonight. You know what led to that, among other things, was their ability to laugh. It goes a long way. It's really important. So I often say to people who are upset and feeling lots of stress and anxiety, and perhaps if they're at the workplace and they don't know what to do, I say, go out into the parking lot and just laugh out loud. Or go to your car and just laugh out loud. And in your relationships, in your most important relationships, if you do that pausing, if you do that smiling, if you do that deep breathing, and you engage in the intention of giving and receiving feedback, you're going to more readily be able to engage in laughing at yourself and the situation, and basically say, I'm not really quite sure what this is about, and maybe it's silly, but let's laugh at ourselves, and let's find a way to reason together. Let's try to find a way to understand each other. Because when you can lead with smiles and laughter, everything loosens up, doesn't it? So good morning, dear Wendy. Good to see you this afternoon, actually. So anyway, I'm so happy to see those of you who are here. Some of you, I have to scroll down to see if you're here. And I hope that this little tip is not a big. It's a big deal. It's a little tip. It's a simple tip. If you do it, if you allow yourself to laugh at yourself, laugh at how funny we are, laugh at how crazy and funny life is. It's often said, don't take yourself so seriously, don't take life so seriously. And if we can have a sense of humor about ourselves and life, we find a different perspective so that we can move forward productively and with love. So on this beautiful day, I think it feels like springtime. And downstairs at Newburgh Mercantile, they've got all kinds of flowers out in front of the shop, and some of them real, some of them silk flowers. It looks like a spring festival down there. They've got cameras down there. They're doing some big stuff down there. So it's a beautiful day. It's a day to celebrate the sunshine. Go out and take a walk. Go out and just laugh because you can. And enjoy this beautiful day. Make love better in every way. I'll be with you tomorrow, and I'll let you know what time. I'm not sure right now because my schedule, happily so, is filling up, and I have to fit in our Facebook Live conversations and messages in and around my schedule. So my clients come first. Facebook Live is going to be my second priority. So I look forward to being with you tomorrow. And in the meantime, make love better. Mwah.